Hi, my name is Brian, and welcome to my garage shop. This is my wooden snowplow that I built for my John Deere, and I wanted to make a video that kind of shows what it's all about. Pretty stoked to finally have it done and ready to plow some snow. Hopefully we'll get some snow. I live in Chicago suburbs, and we haven't had that much snow over the last week or two, and it doesn't look like we're getting any in the next week, but you know, it's still mid-January, so there's still hope. But as of now, I'm pretty sure that I should be in good shape as far as what I've got here. But yeah, everything on this is it's all pretty much just your standard construction pine, with the exception of some of the hardware, but nothing on here cost me probably more than 40 bucks, 50 bucks. I mean, the bolts and the springs and stuff cost more than anything, but I'm gonna walk you through some of the most basic functions first, and then I'll kind of take you through the individual components and show what they do. But you know, the main thing that I wanted to make sure is that I could lift it up hands-free while I'm driving, so I can push snow forward, then, you know, lift it up, back up, drop the blade, and you know, I've even got, this is a little bit cheesy, but I think it'll work just fine, where I can clip this in and keep the blade elevated so I can even do it hands-free. Because actually, although this is, you know, levered over a long distance, it's still, the whole apparatus is fairly heavy. But in the building of it, I started at the mower and I work outward. The way I work is, you know, I don't go in with a very super mega detailed design plan. I had a pretty solid idea of what I wanted to do, but you know, the main first thing was to get everything attached to the frame in a way that I felt was really strong. So what I'll probably do here is pull the camera out, we can get in for some nice detail shots. But let's take a look here at, well, we can get a nice overview. And as I said, we'll go in and check everything out. Started right in here with this main component, which essentially is like a bumper, and it's bolted into the frame here and here. There's actually a lag bolt that goes down through there, and that's the same on both sides. Actually, I had to even drill a hole for my exhaust to port through there. So this whole apparatus is firmly mounted to the frame, and if you can tell, this actually pivots up and down. So with any kind of roll in my driveway and in the sidewalk, I will be able to, the blade will follow the ground, unless I'm actually using the foot pedal, in which case I could kind of apply some foot pressure to help with that. But yeah, I wanted to get it so that it would follow and not just be rigid, as well as the other main issue that I came to realize, since I've actually never operated a snowplow, so when I drive this, it'll be the first time I'm ever using a snowplow. But there's some cracks in my driveway, some spots where I knew that the plow edge could potentially catch, and I wanted to make sure that this whole spring mechanism would accommodate for that, rather than, you know, catch that crack and then just tear the whole thing to shreds. But you know, this is, I did 1/4-inch plywood, laminated it layer by layer, and that's how I got the plow face. So it you know, it winds up being 3/4, and I'll paint everything after I can test it and make sure that everything works the way that I want it to work. But yeah, one of the other main components is I wanted to have the ability to tilt the blade so that I could push snow off to the left or off to the right, as opposed to just a 90-degree front facing all the time. And what I can do here is show you, you know, this is the best way that I could come up with to do this. And, you know, it takes a little bit of extra time. First, actually, I was planning to just use these bolts. That did not seem like it was going to be strong enough. Because, you know, you've got all this pressure right here on this one bolt where everything tilts and twists. So these were my initial idea to do kind of this double bolt system, and they slide right down in there, and I was going to have a series of holes in there. I decided, you know what, it's probably not the best. We need some support out here on the sides. And what I wound up with is these. So, you know, if you want to change the angle, which I don't think you're going to change the angle like really often, I hope. But if you want to change the angle, you can pop these out. There's two on each side. I wanted to make sure everything was super solid. I mean, I'm not sure how much weight I'll be pushing out front of this, but you know, maybe I'll have 200 pounds of snow in front of this at any given moment. You know, if we get a bunch of that wet, heavy stuff, I don't want to have to, you know, baby this whole thing. So, once you get these out, you can turn it however you want, and you see these red marks. That's kind of my preset position. So I got full left, full right, and then 90. And I can even, if I wanted to make more positions, like if I find out that full left is just too much, I can pop another nut in here and draw another line where those cross. But anyway, so left and right, you can see these slide along, and once the lines line up, I've got nuts buried in the backs of these. So here, I'll show you how that works. And get that one. So in that full right position, on the one side you only have enough crossover for the one nut, but then on the other side you actually have enough room and the possibility for 3 if you wanted to. I typically, I would think that just, you know, 2 would be enough, but I'll just do 1 for the moment, just because. Just trying to demonstrate so you can, you know, hang on to those. And actually these supports here, they were, I wouldn't call them an afterthought, but they definitely, they came at the very end of the process. And I was like, you know, trying to brainstorm my idea about how I was going to make that support on the outer edge. But what became a big issue was how to have these attach and still have the spring function properly. So what I actually wound up doing is where these attach to this here, I just did a single lag bolt in from each side. So this block actually will twist. If you watch this block, when I pull, you see that this, and same on this side, actually twists with the twist function. And yeah, right now each of these springs is about 75 pounds of tension. And so I got 150 pounds of tension. I don't know how that's going to work out with pushing snow. You know, like I said, if I got 200 pounds of snow, then I may see those springs giving like too soon. And if that's the case, I can add another 1 or 2 and increase the amount of spring tension that it puts this under. Let's see here, what else? So yeah, this is my angle function. My lift mechanism, I might change that. We'll see how it goes. The one thing I'm not really happy with, yet again, this actually, it wasn't an afterthought. I knew I wanted to do a lift mechanism, but if I would have had it planned out a little better in advance, I might have done it differently, specifically where it attaches here. Because right now I've got pocket screws, and the main issue was that once I put it on, I realized that in the lifting of it, you can see right here, it wants to pinch in on this, and I realized, oh man, I don't have much space there. And so I started shaving this down with the chisel just to get enough clearance to where it would lift up and down. So what I may do in the future is just change just this part. I'm happy with this, the whole leg that I step on. It's just a matter of I've got a little bit of give forward to back, and actually when I step on that, it's quite a bit of pressure, because it's, you know, it's levered the long end to the short end, and this whole thing right here, I'm guessing, I don't know, 100 pounds, maybe more. Let's see. Yeah, one of the other functions that I thought was kind of cool, that I was happy I figured it out. I wanted to make this so that it was under spring tension. Of course, you want to have a resting position, which is where it's at right now, and where those springs will pull it back. So I created this whole piece right here, and this long bolt here goes down through, all the way through, and basically this comes inside here, and the shape of that, it's a blunt front but with a rounded corner, so that rounded corner follows the radius of this bolt. And so basically when it's being pushed on from the front with weight in the middle, it's wanting to push on that blunt front. And then, you know, if I get something that catches on the bottom, it rolls with that radius down and in, and it's still supported all the way through that twist. Same actually concept in here. This front bumper, the front leading edge of it, before I built any of this out here, has an outer curve to it. And then this piece that comes across, which rides up and down, is convex and follows, or I'm sorry, concave, follows this exact curve and sits flush on it, because even as this goes up and down, I don't want all the weight just on these two bolts. I also wanted the weight to transfer through this whole front face. But the only way to do that is to have those two pieces married together so tightly, but also have the ability to move over. So what I did was I just slathered a bunch of like petroleum jelly on those, and I made sure I got the shapes like perfectly married to where they would slide against each other. And yeah, it seems to be working well. I mean, we have no real world trials, gosh, as of now. But you know, I have pretty good expectations on what I'm gonna see. I think you know, if I had to say things that I'm maybe, I don't know, concerned with, but just things that may pop up as an issue is probably stuff I mentioned. You know, I may need to add springs. One thing I wish that it had that it doesn't, and I don't know if it would be plausible, but it's not going to have any kind of twist function this way. So the blade up and down can go up and down, but it can't gimbal on this axis. It'll stay square to the mower. So if I'm going over some terrain that's got some twist to it, you're going to see one corner of the blade be up and one down, which, you know, it's the first plow I've ever made, so we'll see how it goes. But I mean, I have an idea in my head how I could maybe accommodate for that, but I don't know if it's really going to be that necessary. My driveway's not enormous. It's fairly big. And then I may also eventually see this metal wear edge that I've got going might be a little too aggressive for, you know, a concrete driveway. If I see that, I might look into something like, I don't know, polyethylene, polypropylene, some sort of like heavy density plastic that I can do across there, and of course that'll wear through faster, but it won't scratch at my driveway. And then I think I mentioned too that of course paint is a big issue, and I will paint something cool on here once I can be happy with the design and know that I don't really have to do much in the way of modification. Then I can prime everything with a good oil-based primer and a good outdoor latex paint, and then I'll probably do something cool on the plow front, something to match the John Deere colors. But yeah, I'll take you in for another closer look here, but next time maybe I will try to do a better job of shooting video as I build, as opposed to just, you know, this, which is kind of you know, after the fact. But once you get in the groove of making something like this, you kind of get hooked on it, and all you do is think about what the next move is, as opposed to, oh, I gotta shoot video and edit video. But nevertheless, I'm here and shooting this now, and I hope people think it's cool and interesting. And really, I think, you know, until I get it actually tried out, it's just kind of a complicated sculpture. Until it's actually functional and doing something, we can't be sure. But I'm ready for some snow. We'll see what the weather forecast holds for this next week, and of course, when that day comes, I will have the video camera rolling, and you'll get to see the maiden voyage of the plow. Alright, thanks for checking it out.